Hey everyone, welcome back to Juicy Things. We're your hosts, Jaicob, Feliz.
And I'm Heather Maldonado, and this is the podcast called Juicy Things, where we help couples find their passion and spread their influence. Today we have a topic called flow, which is something that we've alluded to in a few of our other episodes, but that we're really excited to
Finally getting into it.
Yeah, dive a lot more into. So first, we're going to talk about you, right? Have you ever been in flow? At a high level, we're going to talk about the concept of flow. It's that feeling when time passes by without you even realizing it, right?
Yeah, everyone has flow. Like, you're at a dinner or you're hanging out with friends, you're watching TV. Next thing you know, it's freaking midnight and you're like, where did time go?
Yeah,
that was when you're in flow.
It's when the time passes without you even realizing it because you were either accomplishing something, you were so focused on the task at hand that you were doing because it was important to you, right? And that was something that you were focused on. So no one else, or maybe someone else was making you focus on the thing, but if no one else was forcing you to do that thing that you were doing, right? You yourself were losing track of time doing that thing. That's the idea of flow. So we're going to talk today about 9 steps to achieving flow and happiness in your work and how to achieve flow on a regular basis so that you're more productive and happy with your work and with your life.
And stay tuned to the end because I'm going to give you a assignment that you can do to find your flow.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about a few different steps that you can use to apply, but Jaicob has a good exercise that you can do if you say, wait, how do I find what tasks actually help me with flow? So that'll be great. Make sure you stick to the end. So first off, I also just wanted to mention that the concept of flow is proposed by psychologist Mihaly, and I'm definitely going to butcher this name, so I'm just going to say his last name starts with a C. Dr. Mihaly C. If you look up the concept of flow, you'll easily find him. And he just talks about the state of mind that you achieve when you fully immerse yourself in a task. So we will go ahead and talk about the idea of achieving Zen in your lifestyle, living in the moment, and steps that you need to take to do that. So you want to kick us off?
Yeah, I think the number one thing is to find work that you like to do.
And that's what we talk about all the time.
That's the hard thing. I mean, we
That
have
is the hardest
episodes
part.
on this, but finding work you like to do is the easiest way to achieve flow because you're so passionate about it. And that goes back to being passionate.
It always goes back to being passionate.
Yeah.
It really does.
So if you find a job you don't like, of course, time is going to go as slow as heck, right? Because you're just focused on doing work that you don't like just so that you could get through the day.
And the reason why we mention work so much is because it's 8 to 5, guys. It's the majority of the day. Yeah. And we're just trying to help you guys out. If it's something you don't like, you can always, like we've been pushing every single time, make a change, right? So maybe you don't want to change jobs right now. That's totally fine. What other tasks can you do at your job maybe that would make you, a little bit happier in your work life, right? What are tasks you could take on in that job that would make you more happy than what you're doing right now? So even just that, something to consider.
Yeah.
So another one is to choose an important task. So it's really easy and you can spend a ton of time doing easy tasks that are unimportant. And let me tell you that you can really get lost in that space. For example, I know for me, I will spend a lot of time in a research phase, feeling like I'm getting something done when really I just wasted time doing research and not actually being productive. That was actually a flaw of mine today. All the research that you do is fine and dandy, but if you didn't actually accomplish any tasks, was it really important? Sure, I was in a state of flow because it was easy and unimportant to do, but my time would be better suited towards important tasks, even if it were shorter spurts of time. Finding important tasks to do is just as important in the overall accomplishment of your goals.
Yeah, and I want to go on to that easy task. You don't want something that's too easy because
that's the next one.
If it's too easy, you're going to get it done with no effort. You're not going to be concentrating on it. You want the perfect amount of concentration on something that's not too easy, but also something that's not too hard. Because if it's too hard, you're going to give up on it. You're just not going to want anything to do with it. So try to, it's going to take time, trial and error, to figure out something that's not too easy, right? A task not too easy, but also not too hard. Just something just right. Something just right, like perfectly challenging for you.
A good example that came to mind too is like a puzzle or something, right? Like if a puzzle is like
Or Wordle.
5 piece or Wordle. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wordle is
Wordle's a
just
good
the
one.
right amount of difficulty.
Mhm.
But like say a puzzle, if it's like 5 pieces and you can complete it in 2 seconds, you're going to consider that puzzle probably not very fun. But if it's something that's medium level of challenging, that would be pretty fun to you, right? Maybe like a 100-piece puzzle that you can finish in like an hour.
Something that you can kind of do, right?
But like
if
a
it's
10,000
if it's a 10,000 puzzle
piece
and it takes you
puzzle,
7 years,
then maybe that won't
maybe
be
you might
enjoyable.
want to do it.
Maybe some people like doing
Yeah,
puzzles.
some
like that.
people like that.
But still
hey,
in
but
chunks.
to them, that's achievable. To other
That is
people,
still
it's
achievable,
not
even though
achievable.
it's a difficult task, right? But yeah, finding tasks that aren't too easy or too hard will make you feel accomplished. Therefore, you'll want to continue doing that task. So another one is to find your quiet and peak time. So this is the concept of, are you a morning person or are you a night owl, right? When is most productive for you? You know yourself better than anyone else. Are you an early riser? You like getting up first thing in the morning? You're excited to accomplish tasks in the beginning of the day? Or are you the type of person that takes a little bit longer to get up, get productive? You have more of a slow start, but at night you're way more productive and you're able to accomplish tasks really quickly, once the sun goes down. So finding your quiet and peak time is important for you. Like if you like a louder environment, maybe you like when you're surrounded by other people, so like at a cafe, or do you like a quiet environment like at a library or during lunchtime when your coworkers are away? Find the times that work best for you throughout the day and put those important tasks like we just talked about in those times where you know that you're already setting yourself up kind of for success there.
Yeah, I think I was a morning person, like earlier or like for the most part last year, but I've lately been, getting back to my old roots where like I've been
You were
staying up.
previously a night owl
Yeah,
too, so
I was previously a night owl, turned into daytime bird, morning bird, and then slowly I've been finding that like I'd rather stay up later. I don't know what it is. Honestly, I don't know. My body doesn't really feel that good, but like mentally I feel better. I don't know. It's weird. I think I'm gonna go back to like morning.
And so maybe that's it, right? Maybe it's like flip-flopping. Maybe you've never considered yourself a morning person before. Why not try it out? Maybe, right? Maybe you could be. Who knows? Like, might as well test these things, like, and see for yourself what actually works better. Because another thing is, what is the best time for you to be productive, right? For your overall schedule.
I'll tell you how. It's putting that phone away. Okay, this is the next thing. Clearing those distractions, right? Get rid of them. Unless like you're waiting for an important call or something, maybe you might want to have your phone nearby. But let's say like the area you're at, right? If it's messy, go ahead, clean it up, right? You don't want like clothes on the floor and papers on the table. That's just going to be another distraction to get your mind off doing what you got to do, right?
Yeah, like if I have a task that I need to get done, all of a sudden I will be washing the dishes, or I will be doing laundry, or I will be playing on the piano, anything to get me away from the thing that I really need to do, right? Whereas if I sit down, block out everything and have no other option, or leave the apartment so that I can just focus on that one task, then I know it's going to get done without any distractions. So
yeah,
clearing
like
distractions.
I've been trying to read, and then the thing is when I'm reading, I see the bass guitar. I've been playing bass guitar lately. And I see the bass guitar, and it's like I just want to stop everything and just pick it up and just play whatever. It's just
reading is a good thing to put into flow too, because of the fact that the idea of reading can be flow, right? For a lot of people, are you checking the time, or are you focused on your reading? How much time can you go of reading before you get distracted? Whereas the bass is something that is like immediately almost like give dopamine pleasure reactor, whereas for a book it feels like it's almost like a puzzle, like we were talking about, a long-term completion task that you have to make enjoyable in the shorter spurts of time for you to achieve those goals in the long run of finishing the book, right? Not just reading consistently. So is it this one? Learn to focus. So the next one is to learn to focus on that task. That's kind of what I just wanted to talk about right there, which was, let's bring up the example of reading, right? So if reading is something that you want to do and it does help you achieve flow, you definitely are in flow when you're in a reading task. What happens is people, what's the phrase? It's something like, get out while the getting's still good, right? The idea of of leaving when you're winning, when you're up on bets,
Take
right?
your dub and run.
Take
That's
your
how I
dub
put
and
it.
run.
I put it like this: take your dub and go to sleep on a dub. Don't go to sleep on an L.
So essentially, if you back out of something when you're still enjoying it, that's the best time to leave, because you'll still leave on that high, associating that task with that high, right? That happiness. Whereas if you're like, okay, I did that, but I'm gonna keep going. Like, that was a great win, and it's already 11:30 p.m. Should I go another game? Sure. And then you lose, and then you're not
And
as
you got to
happy
play
to
another
leave.
game,
Keep
and then
the
you
game.
can't stop until you win
Same
again.
thing with reading, right? If you're like, I have to read for 30 minutes, and you push past the 15, and now you're checking your phone. How much time left? How much time left is it? Now you're not enjoying the task, right? So if it's 10 minutes and that's all you get, and that makes you happy before you start getting like, really anxious and need to go do something else, that's good. Know yourself and start with what you can achieve. Focus on that one task
Know
for as long as
yourself.
possible, even if that's not that long, and then start to add that into your habits. And then you can focus on adding more time to that.
Know yourself. That's what Drake said. He has a whole song called Know Yourself. So, yeah. I think, though, you should enjoy yourself. Because here's the thing. If you're trying to practice flow so much, right, and it's becoming unenjoyable, then it's not really flow at that point. Now you're just trying too hard. So I think is find something, like we said, trial and error. Find something that works. If it works, then that's good. You can enjoy the benefits of flow. However, if it's not working, then you're just going to hate the whole concept.
Yeah, so that's why even the next one is on keep practicing. So other than finding out what tasks are great for you, the tasks that are productive, that are helping you reach your goals, that are things that you genuinely do want to do and add to your habits, add to your routines, right? Those are things that you need to keep practicing. And they don't just happen. They really don't just happen. If you're like, oh, I really want to start working out, and you make absolutely no changes. Oh, I really do want to start being healthier. You know that you should, but unless you really start making time, practicing the habit of doing it, you're not going to achieve it, right? And if there's a happiness, like a dopamine, associated with that task and that flow, you'll be even more inclined to do it again and again. So keep practicing those tasks and enjoy the process.
Yeah. And so we made it to the end where I'm going to teach you how to actually find your flow in your daily lives. But before I get into that, I want to go back and touch up back on trying to appreciate flow.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention, like, it's hard to appreciate when you're in flow because you don't realize you're in flow. It's like when you're like, oh, those were the good times. Like, you don't realize the good times were when you were in the good times,
Yeah, when they're
So-
passing.
So that's kind of like why it's hard to appreciate flow. But
Yeah.
yeah.
So this is on the question of how do I even find out what my flow tasks are that make me happy throughout the day?
So yeah. So this is how you're gonna do it. If
Fun
you
little
want
exercise.
to do this assignment, a little homework assignment, and this is directly from Milk the Pigeon. So if you guys want to do your own research more in depth, it's all from this book. And what Alexander does is he does these things, right? He sets alarms, like 8 to 10 alarms throughout his day, about 1 to 2 hours apart. And then when the alarm rings, he writes down these things, right? He writes down, 1, what time it was, right? What he was doing, how he felt, and if he was in flow or not. Just a yes or no. And then after he had his whole day of what he was doing at 9 a.m., 10 p.m., 11 p.m., whatever, right? So on. Then he could figure out what was not providing him flow and what was providing him flow. And try to cut out what's not giving you anything, right? And then string the flowy parts together to make your day just better and overall.
There are things that you're going to need to do that aren't going to put you in flow, right? But the point is to minimize the time of those things that don't put you in flow and surround those tasks with things that do put you in flow. So like, for example, like for me, like I like working out, and then I go to work and I read during my lunchtime. So that reading is a state of flow. The working out in the morning provides a state of flow, and I have to go. I have to go to work, right? But that is something I enjoy less, but is kind of like sandwiched in between things that I do enjoy doing, and between that flow, breaking up the day, right? And then there's more work come back home, and it's spending time with friends, spending time with Jacob, and eating and those types of things, right? Watching TV like watching a new episode of a TV show could be something that puts you like in flow too. So those types of things, it's about learning the things that do put you in flow, the things that don't, and minimizing the things that don't, and surrounding yourself with more of the things that do.
Yeah, string the flow together. So those are the 9 steps to achieving flow and happiness.
Yeah, I hope you guys learned a thing or two from this episode. And if you did, please screenshot that you listened to our episode. Tag us on Instagram. We'd love to hear from you. Give us a 5-star rating. Please, please, please. It would also help others to find us in the directory, since we're still a very new podcast. Yeah.
You can find us at Juicy Things Cast on everything. And we have a website, juicythingspodcast.com, where you can look at some of our free resources.
Yeah, definitely. So that's all we got for you guys today. You can catch our episodes every Tuesday, and we'll catch you in the next one.
We'll see you later.